Come and build a randomly generated monochrome school with me. I loved building in mostly blue so much, I decided to make it a series. Let's go. This one comes with a story time. The name of this build is Newcrest Middle-ish School. Mostly because it's a school in Newcrest, and maybe you want to use it for your elementary, middle, or high school Sims. Maybe you're just here to watch or listen to a story time. Who am I to judge? So, in honor of all the awkwardness and buffoonery of middle schoolers everywhere throughout history and beyond, it's Trojanflower Middle School Storytime. Listen, middle school is one of the reasons that I use a moniker on this here page. It would just be too embarrassing for all of my Sims 2 builds to be showcased for the world to see. And by the world, I mean my conglomerate 35 followers across platforms. But who knows? That might expand someday. Before I was called a Trojanflower, which is a name given to me by my very loving, caring, not at all teasing husband, who challenges my "I'm a delicate little flower" defense mechanisms by tearing off the mask and revealing a cactus in disguise as a flower. Before I was that, I was just a straight up cactus. Pointy, straightforward, somewhat funky looking, like the ugly duckling but with botanicals. I was absolutely hilarious. Not sure I've ever met a funny cactus, but I think they'd be great at jokes if they were humanoid. Case in point. What does a cactus smell like when you get too close? Blood. No cacti were harmed in the telling of the story. All that to say, I was very much unapologetically me in middle school. No need for a giant wooden flower to hide in so that I can make my way into people's hearts. I just stormed right on in with thoughts and opinions, not caring who would judge me or dislike me, guns a-blazing with my prickly pears out. No, wait. Okay, not like that. I went from an A cup to a C cup in like 2 months in middle school, and then didn't really wear a proper bra for like another month. Listen, I wore like all the awkward clothing that a girl could wear in the early 2000s. Skirts for shirts, jorts, those really wide-legged capri yoga pants, sweatsuits, you name it. Need I go on? I didn't mean it like that. I was just thinking about how to metaphor harder with the cactus motif, okay? My point is, I said what I said to who I wanted to say, and I was who I was without caring how others thought of me. Unless I was trying to play it cool. Like Black Eyed Peas, what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold, cool. Like Burr, it's cold in here. I said there must be some toros in the atmosphere. I said, oh, yo, ice, 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 cool. This level of coolness was reserved for one thing, and one thing only. Interactions with boys. And thanks to the gushing romantic that is my mother, I was basically born boy crazy, okay? Cooties, thing in the distant past, like way, way back by the time that I was in 6th grade, okay? If you're in 6th grade right now, I need you to get in close and listen. You have so much more value to yourself than whether or not you can attract another human being into holding your hand and canoodling in the quad where lunch duties do not frequent. Okay? I never canoodled anyone in middle school for reasons that this story will undoubtedly reveal. But regardless, I hope that you feel like a radically awesome person because of your creativity, your talents, your hilariousness, your bravery, your willingness to stand up for others. I promise that those things will serve you so much more as an adult in search of a long-term committed canoodler than your middle school self's canoodling prowess. Trust. And FYI, there's a lot of usage of the phrase canoodle in the rest of the story. So just be prepared. Okay, let's reel it back into my story. Being a boy crazy, awkward, frizzy-haired girl with the disposition of, let's face it, an unapologetic cactus in middle school meant that every boy that I liked would find out that I liked them. Not by rumors or handwritten notes passed in class. They found out because I would walk my frizzy cactus little self up to those boys and tell them to their flippin' faces, for the most part. See, there was this one boy who we will, from this point forward, call Chad. Chad was in the in crowd, and I was not in the in crowd. I was kind of like in the mid crowd, but more on the outskirts of the mid crowd. Kind of like how the middle class used to exist, but now it's more like not as poor class. You get it. We were in separate sections of the middle school caste system, if you will. Regardless, Chad and I, we had history and language arts together. And in those classes, same teacher for both those classes, we had been separated from one another on more than one occasion. And no, it was not for canoodling. Rather, it was for laughing our booties off and just making each other laugh like it was everything, everywhere, all at once. Craziness and hard to track joke storylines, whatever, what have you. We also took the same bus, so sometimes we would sit next to each other and joke on the bus. Now, Chad here had a sister in 8th grade. We'll call her Jenny. Jenny was bullied to no avail. I don't really feel comfortable saying for what or why she was bullied, because it's not my story, but it was relentless, okay? And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I strongly disliked bullies and would frequently stand up against them in elementary school and middle school. And it was no different with Jenny. As much as I could, I would tell Jenny's bullies to shut up and find something better to talk about. I'm starting to sound a little bit like Miranda Bailey from Grey's Anatomy, but you know what? She stood up to bullies all the time. So, I'm channeling her, okay? I'm channeling her right now in this moment. In all seriousness, I just could not stand the way that people treated Jenny. And so I spent a lot of time on the bus sitting next to her and her like one true friend. I don't have a fake name for her because she's not super important in the story. She was nice, she was funny, but she's just not a part of the story. Anyways, I'd sit with them and we would laugh and joke and talk, and obviously she and I were friends. If I was sitting with Jenny, Chad was not sitting with us. I think Chad was like embarrassed to be associated with her, unfortunately. And that should have been like a whoa, red flag, okay? It wasn't, because I was blinded by the light. So like, yeah, if we were sitting in the front, Chad was sitting in the back. If we were sitting in the back, Chad was sitting in the front. Jenny's birthday came around. She invited me, her one true friend, and someone else who lived in our neighborhood and took our bus with us. We'll call her Ashley. Ashley was in 6th grade with me as well. And all of us were kind of like, we're friends on the bus and in the neighborhood, but not at school friends, okay? So we were all invited to Jenny's sleepover. And at this point, things with Chad were spicy. And by spicy, I mean, we weren't just joking in class together, okay? We were flirting. Do I remember verbatim what our flirting was like in the early 2000s? Heckin' no, I do not. It was cringy. Like, I would change my MySpace profile song to whatever he was listening to, and he would give me one of his black and white checkered sweat wristbands after a hard day of kick flipping a $10 Walmart skateboard. I bought a pair of too tight for my whitest Shrek nose feet slip-on Vans to impress him, and he would give me a graphic pin from Hot Topic to put on my bright pink corduroy Vans backpack. The chemistry was a buildin', and I was not about to say no to a sleepover at his house for Jenny's party. I wasn't there for him, but it gave me a greater incentive to be there. Literally how there was no canoodling, I will never know. But before I get to the party and sleepover details, I need to talk a little bit more about Ashley. Ashley was another popular person. She was extremely extroverted, loud, fun to be around, and basically like the little mini matchmaker of 6th graders across the quad. Let me put it this way. There weren't many people that disliked her. But at school, she had an exclusive group of friends. And that group of friends was not a friend group that I was a part of. We lived down the block from one another. We frequently hung out outside of school. Sometimes we'd say hi in passing, but like I said, her friend group was mostly comprised of people that had grown up with each other since elementary school and naturally socially globbed into 31 flavors of middle school cliques by then. I guess I forgot to mention, I probably should have mentioned like early on, that I had moved mid-semester, so I was like a new kid by the time any of this stuff was happening, and finding my people was a process, okay? Well, Ashley and I had sleepovers here and there, and while she was absolutely invited to my birthday and came, I absolutely was not invited to her birthday parties. I told her about all my secret crushes. She withheld her own self-incriminations. And if there was one teenage cliche that we can all turn into a crypto coin and invest our life savings in, it's talking about boys at sleepovers. We'll call it boy coin or crush coin. I don't know. Canoodle coin. The name's a work in progress, but the phenomenon is Bible, okay? I suppose at this point, it's already obvious that our history language arts teacher and Ashley were the only ones that knew that I liked Chad. Normally, I would have already cactused my way into the confession of a spiky drama teen, but being a new kid kind of stifled my blunt tactics, okay? Ashley insisted that she would figure out if Chad liked me at Jenny's sleepover. And I couldn't have been more thrilled. I was all in on the boy coin, ready to go bankrupt over it. Chad and I would be holding hands, listening to Blink-182 from my MP3 player, walking down the sidewalk while he slowly skateboarded in no time. So romantic. Now, the night of the birthday party / sleepover arrives, and I am digging through. No, I am excavating through the pile of clothes on my pull-out couch bed, looking for the cutest outfit I can find. Sure, I wore the cloth of a weird girl most days, but I had a fashion sense when I wanted and when I cared. And this, my friends, was a time that I cared. As for pajamas, I only cried a little bit because I didn't own any Victoria's Secret pink butt pants, but my knockoff red butt pants from Walmart would do. Alright, I'm just gonna be honest, I don't remember exactly what they said, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't pink, and I think it was a color. It could have even been like a red Rhino brand tracksuit. I don't remember. In any case, I was prepared for some butt staring. Okay, Ashley and I get to Jenny's and Chad's house, and the party just erupts into karaoke, Dance Dance Revolution, rock band extravaganza. We are eating pizza, we are eating cake, we are eating snacks left, right, having a blast. Chad and I are vibing harder than we've ever vibed before. I'm so sorry. I swear canoodles are a cannot in this story. Just, okay, we all decide to watch a movie before bed. But before the movie, Ashley and I go change into our pajamas. She stops me in the hall to tell me verbatim, I'm sorry, that's all the time that I have for this first part. Part 2 will be out tomorrow, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can hear the rest of this enthralling Trojanflower tale. Hint, there will be hand-holding with a skateboard down the sidewalk listening to Blink-182 on my MP3. But oh no, that is not the end of the story. Serendipity and blessings to you. Be sure to share blessings with those who need them. Until tomorrow.